now listening to the Good Bad Advice Podcast with Stephanie and Chase.
Hello. Welcome, you guys, to the Good Bad Advice Podcast. It's where we give unsolicited advice to people in news each week, and we catch up with you and each other. And this is my co-host,
Stephanie.
And I'm Chase. And we
did it a little different this week.
I mixed it up.
I was sitting here happily waiting.
I'm just putting on different socks. I'm doing a sock shoe moment. I'm
How
not just doing sock shoe. I'm good. I'm great, actually. Well, I'm tired because we drove back from Goblin Valley.
Great tired.
We've had a very long weekend.
Yeah.
Let me give my little summary on the wedding.
Yes, please.
And then we're trying to be cognizant of time because I do have like an emergency meeting
Here's
that I have to do.
Every single time we start the episode. It's going to be a short one today. We have to be cognizant of time. Us an hour and 26 minutes later. Okay, I have to get off because I'm literally running behind. I'm so late.
True story. I pulled out the iPad and I was like, okay, we've got to just get going on the stories. Pulled up my iPad and on my homepage was my Apple TV app, like little widget.
You got distracted by
I got distracted, and then we were 10 minutes down talking about a reunion that I just started. Back to the wedding. Steven's sister got married.
Yay.
This weekend out in Goblin Valley. I'll post a couple pictures. Gorgeous.
Just in like the middle of nowhere.
Like in the middle of nowhere, but it's kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
it feels a little Tatooine, like you're in a Star Wars vibe. It's not Red Rock as much as it is like Rust Rock.
Yes.
So you know like how Zion's is like very true Red Rock and like it's getting very almost clay. Like this is really like there were snow-capped mountains in the background.
Pretty.
It snowed while we were setting up, sleeted as well, then just rained. Then like we went through every season. Then it was hot enough where we're just taking off all of our layers just to a single layer.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. She married just like the best girl. I love Bridget and we love Brendan so much. So major mazel, congratulations to them. But it's like a 3.5 hour drive because it's in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the coordinates to the site were a pin that were dropped, and then we had to meet them off the side of the road.
They said latitude and longitude.
No, literally. They were like, you want directions? Find here. And so they had to meet us like off the road so that they could take us down this random thing. And then they had ATVs and things to like get us through the different really rocky parts, and we're transporting it all there. So the whole wedding and the reception was at the venue.
Okay.
I got asked kind of last minute to photograph the wedding just because their photographer had backed out. And we had signed on to be the, I know, terrible friend. We had done dinner the night before for everybody. Yeah. So in like the Airbnb, and I made a delicious goulash. And like so good. And then I did 2 different types of brownie trays of like peanut butter chocolate brownies and then like a vanilla buttercreamed brownie with rainbow sprinkles because they're lesbians. And then like I did a meaty salad. I was like, I'll just do the whole thing. A nice winter meaty salad. But then I photographed, and I just have to say, like, so you know, Steven's mom died. This is like gonna make me emotional. Steven's mom died on his mission. And Brendan is the youngest daughter in the family. And it was maybe 30, 40 people there, all on camping chairs, just walked up to this spot. And Steven's parents, dad and stepmom, who just like 10 points to them for making this very cool. I'll post a picture of it on the reel or on the thread, carousel of the planet backdrop. And because we were all just like kind of crazy setting up and with the weather and getting rocks and making flower crowns because the girls all wore flower crowns. Like it was very much like hobo chic. Like I was wearing a bolo tie and flannel was
and
like.
You looked cute.
Thank you. I was trying hard. My shirt didn't come that I wanted, but it's okay. We're walking them down the aisle Bridget goes down the aisle with her dad, and Bridget's mom was marrying them. Yeah. And then Carl and Bridget walked down the aisle. Sorry, Carl and Brendan walked down the aisle, and this huge gust of wind comes. Just this huge soaring gust of wind comes right down the aisle, and then does a little turn at the, like a little like goes up. Spiral, and then complete calm weather the entire time. And I am shooting it, and I am crying so hard because it just feels so special that I can't even take off my sunglasses to shoot, which you should because everything is like filtered. But I'm like, focus, hello. There are 30 people here. I can't like hide in the mass, whatever. but everybody was emotional. Like all the siblings were so emotional. So then after the ceremony, which is beautiful, Bridget's mom is a minister, a pastor. Yeah. So she'd written just like a really beautiful thing, and she'd written the vows for them. Like she'd written the vows just as part of like the ceremony. Yeah. And one of them was like, I vow that you're the name I cry out in the middle of the night. Aww. And I'm like,
it's so sweet.
That is so sweet. Like it was just a very, very, very like, you know, like just like good vibes, just like such good, pure vibes. Love. Anyway, so I was talking to the siblings afterward, and I had said, your mom, to Shiley, I was like, your mom would have loved this. And she goes, didn't you see the wind? She said she'd come in the wind. And I was like, not well. So then I'm crying so hard telling Bridget that I can't even get words out. And I'm like, I just have to take a minute. I'm so sorry. And then Steve was like, are you okay? I'm like, I am not okay. And he's like, you know, it was just everybody, all the siblings felt Darlise there. It was just like so beautiful. And then we campfired, and Chase was outside. For the record, outside. Mark the date, the 15th of March, around a campfire. And then I was in charge of, like, it was really fun. They had a lot of assignments for people to do, and I got tasked to like man one of the grills for all the kebabs. And I was just like in my vibe, like I had grill gloves on, like turning the skewers, and it was delicious. And they did a baked brie in a giant cast iron with like sausages and like sliced sausage and tomatoes. So it was like a really earthy with basil and balsamic glaze. Okay. Amazing. I don't know if it's just that we were cold and tired and exhausted, but it was the best thing I've eaten in a very long time. Wow. Okay. Same. Steven said the same thing. He just kept saying, you need to eat the cheese. Yeah. The cheese is amazing. And it was just it was super, super fun. Steven and I stayed in like a little teeny cabin, just like a solo cabin. Yeah. And for a couple of nights, which is fun to feel so like rough in it, but then to go home and sleep in a bed. Like I can do that. I love to do a cabin away. I love a cabin away where you're going to go out. We smelled like smoke. Yeah. We did the fires. Like we smelled smoke. We like got in, and I was like, all the clothes are terrible. Put them in a bag right now. I don't want to make the cabin stink. But yeah, it was a really, 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 which is good because I'd had a rough week. Yeah. I did have just like the dumbest opposing client say a nasty thing about my personal life, which I don't want to give any airtime to. And then we did go to dinner the next night. We went to dinner to celebrate your birthday. You guys, the way that like if a mic was there, it would have been our best episode yet. When we were on at this restaurant. Funny. And thank goodness our waiter was like here for it because he like just kept coming by. You know what he was giving? He gave us all free drinks. Yeah, free drinks. You know what Italian he was giving? On Legally Blonde, where the gay guy walks out and he goes, "Oh, the bend and snap works every time." That's was his energy. Because he just kept like laughing as he was trailing away. Like he would just be like, "Oh, we heard him at one point retelling a joke or situation that happened to another waiter a table away from us. Like he was just like, hang on, you don't get it. And then like we'd said, I was like, oh, do you guys have Italian sodas? Because Steph loves Italian food. So do I. But that's like your jam. Yeah, that's my jam. So I was like, let's do a really delicious Italian place. So we went there and I said, do you guys have Italian sodas? And he was like, yeah, and gave us like 1,000 flavors. So I said, just make us something special, buddy. Yeah. He kept bringing back different Italian flavors. And I was thinking like, good thing I love Steph because this bill's going to be effing high with all these Italian sodas. And they were all for free at the end, which made them even taste sweeter. Like the aftertaste was even better. Gosh, a free Win was his name. Win. Oh my gosh, he was Win great. So Win, if you're listening, or it was like Chero or something like that. Scelto or something. Yeah. It's in Sandy, and it was actually so good. Delish. I've gone there once with my friend Lindsay. Yeah. Okay, well, the juxtaposition of your story and my story is gonna be I literally crazy. Just cried on the pod. Yeah, no, but I have an insanely embarrassing, but ultimately one of the funniest moments of my life. Okay, because just so everyone knows, I've not heard this story yet. No. You're hearing it live. Steph told me, she texted when she was like, hey, we're doing that pod, right? Because I literally just drove back. Like, I look like this because I just got out of the car. This is one of the craziest stories. No, Steph was like, we have to do the story. We have to do the pod. She's like, it's okay if we don't, but I have a story that we have to put on there. I debated telling this on the podcast because it just truly is... Okay, I'm here. Get to it. I pick up Bailey from school on Fridays. I'm like, give context. Bailey is how old? She is 12. 12. Okay. I'm like, hey, will you come run these errands with me? I'll get you a treat. Like we can blah, blah, blah. We go to Sam's Club. At Sam's Club, I had drank
a ton of water that day. I've been trying to increase my water intake.
Good girl.
So
Skin's
I'm
glowing.
like, I've gone to the bathroom, peed like 8 times already. At Sam's Club, I pee. And we're like, okay, let's go to Walmart after. Get my prescriptions. Let's go. We go to Walmart. We are all the way in the back of the store. And I'm like, I have to pee. But I'm like, oh, right, but we have to grab a couple more things. So I do the like, oh, I'll hold it. We'll go to the front of the store. Everything will be fine. It becomes like increasingly aware to me that like, I have to pee now. So I'm literally with Bailey, like, I have to go to the bathroom. It's just, you peed in Sam's Club. I'm like, welcome to being 31. We have to go to the front of the store right now. So I'm like, speed walking.
Totally.
To the front of the store. Bailey sees something Hello Kitty. I'm like, okay, you wait right here. I'll go run into the restroom.
Oh, no. I'm so nervous because I want it to go well for you, but I'm nervous.
So I run to the bathroom. First off, first bad sign, I see that there's a cart, like a cleaning cart in front. I'm like, if the bathroom is closed, I will go into the men's restroom. Like, cart. I just had to go that badly. Like, we are in a situation where I'm walking towards the bathroom, unbuttoning my jeans because I'm like, I have to pee so badly. That was me
walking in here.
Yes.
Because I just got off the road.
Also, we should mention, like, with the ADHD, you have this thing in your brain where you're like, I don't really have to go that bad until it's, like, so urgent.
Totally.
So it becomes urgent. I'm walking towards the bathroom, unbuttoning my jeans. The second I step into the bathroom, luckily, no cleaning. Second I step into the bathroom, I'm like, I am literally going to pee my pants. So I'm unbuttoning my jeans. No one's in there. Unbuttoning my jeans. Go into the first stall. Swing open the door. Literally, I'm like pulling down my pants. I'm like, I'm not even going to have enough time to lock the door. I'm just going to have to hold it. Like, I'm just going to have to pull down my pants, hold the door. Because that's the situation we are in. Except I pull down my pants. I am start to pee before I'm even fully touching the seat. And I go to put my hand up on the door. Push it open. Door swings wide.
So it's like a saloon door. You just beavered out in the Walmart bathroom.
The door swings wide. It is fully open.
What goes through your mind?
I'm horrified because also like I'm actively peeing.
Yeah,
like,
you're volcanic erupting. Your urethra is dead.
And then I'm like, I'm the first stall when you walk in. You will have to pass me to get to the other stalls.
I forget because a women's bathroom are only stalls. Okay.
Yes. You will have to pass me to get to the other stalls. And by the way, the door is wide open, blocking the other stalls. So you will think that this door is open. And I, by some miracle, while I'm like still peeing, reach forward, stretch enough to grab the bottom of the door and pull it forward. But there was probably a solid 3 full seconds. And when you are door wide open in a public restroom, 3 seconds is an insanely long time. That I reach forward and I'm just holding the bottom of the door. And I'm just like, I can't believe that this just happened to me. While also being like, I don't even know if I fully made it to the toilet before I started to pee. So it
could have just been like a trail of pee.
No, truly. I'm
leading
like,
to the bathroom stall.
I don't know if my
spoiler
pants
alert, here's her actively peeing.
Soaked because I'm just like, I squatted down. But like, picture in your rush. Like,
I'm trying not to. Honestly, I want to look
to
at you
the thighs,
differently. Crouched
down, door swings wide open in a public Walmart. Thankfully, Bailey didn't come in there with me.
No doubt. I mean, Bailey, had you, it would have been like funny, but also you can't make eye contact for 24 hours.
Well, I would have just started laughing so much sooner because honestly, like if she was in there, I'd be like, Bailey, close the door. Like, it would have been a whole panic. And it would have been so funny earlier. But after it happened, I was just like washing my hands, just like, girl, what is you doing with your life? Like, this is so bad. Like,
why am I drinking water?
No, true. Like, I was like, I'll never drink water again.
Well,
like,
we had a similar, very close, but also interesting situation, because when we were driving, we left this morning.
Yeah.
And Steven was like, maybe like an hour in, maybe 2 hours. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know how like a 3.5 hour.
Yeah, you're like,
road
I don't
trip,
know, it's 20 minutes or 45. It's like, I'm not sure.
We were staying in Hanksville,
mm-hmm.
but we took like the route to get there was either you could go like excessive winter warning.
Yeah.
Or like go like the extra long route where you have to go around and then come up that way. So it was like, this was just a long route anyway. But we were outside of like a smaller town, and Steve's like, I have to go to the bathroom. And I'd said, oh, the only place I like really, and we had been talking about random stuff. A Maverick. Like, I love a Mav. I will, you know me, I've had Maverick gift cards as prizes for birthday parties for trivia a long Maverick. Time. But we get off and he's like, oh, let's just do this. It's just a Chevron. I just really have to go. And I was like, okay. So he goes in, and I'm like, you also kind of know when you're in a small town, you just like take on a different persona. Yeah. Also, Steve and I were wearing a matching outfit. Like, okay, cool. Brooke and Matt gave us these sweatpants from Nordstrom as a part of like a, like, just stay home and cuddle and watch movies. Yeah. We got like popcorn and a bowl and whatever. Cute. It was a cute idea. Well, we both are wearing black sweatshirts, mm-hmm. and like these. So we look like matching. In a unit. We're very matching. Yes. It's super homo. Well, we walk in, and I take on a different persona where I'm just like checking random food prices in the gas station, just like see how upcharge it is. Yeah, like I'm gonna buy something while I'm doing lunges go to the bathroom, because I was stretching down the aisles. Lunges? I was doing lunges to just kind of like stretch. Got it. And they also just like, small towns kind of make me. This is not gonna play well, I think, but small towns make me sad. Like, I'm not a small town guy at all. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, oh, it's a charm. Like, I'm glad. I hope most people there like. Yeah. Meth. Like, I just don't imagine small towns are like the hotbeds of like joy. And Steve and I were talking, like, there are some people who just like totally love that. We're just not, that's not in our DNA. Okay. And so I'm kind of like also picking up on the conversation between the cashier and this random guy that's filling up like a giant jumbo jug, but he's like my age, and the cashier's like young, and they're talking about how much like Donovan never wakes up until after 3:30 in the afternoon, or like I'm like in my weird like kind of thing, and Steven comes barreling out of the bathroom, and he's like, they don't it doesn't flush, so we need to leave right now. And I was like, oh, okay. Is that because you went to the bathroom? He's like, no, that's because I couldn't stand what was currently in the bathroom that couldn't flush. I couldn't add to it. We got to get to a Maverick now. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like quickly trying to like leave, but I'm also like really interested in what's happening with Donovan and this kind of story at the small Donovan town. Like, there's some tea at the Chevron. And it was like, we race to the Maverick. It's like 0.9 miles away, so we get there really quick. Yeah. And there's a line to get into the bathroom, 2 people deep at this point, because only one bathroom is open. Okay, got it. Steven is just there like stressing out, and he's like having a lot of energy, and I just was like, I have to leave you, because this is going to make me have to go to the bathroom, and then I'll have to wait for you, because I do think going to the bathroom is contagious. Yes. Because then literally we get in the car after he's like finished and everyone went to the bathroom, suddenly had to go to the bathroom. But I don't want to say anything, because I know there's only one bathroom, and we wanted to kind of hit the road, and I knew I was going to be late for this. And and so I held going to the bathroom for like 45 active minutes until it was like my entire penis was going to just fall off if I did not go to the bathroom. Like, that was the pressure I was feeling. So we're warriors, if you think about it. Yeah. So recommendation and advice for this episode: stop holding your pee. Yeah. Just go. And we mean literal pee. When you have the urgency. That was the other thing too at the wedding. There were no bathrooms or anything. They're like, hey, a bathroom's like 10, 15 minute drive. So if you have to go to the bathroom, like, just let people know. And then the car that's not blocked will like whatever leave. And so Steven and I are trying to stay warm in the car, because it did get, the freezing. Wind was very, very, very cold. I mean, there was snow. Like, it was cold. So we're trying to stay warm in the car. And I was like, I have to pee so badly. He's like, I've had to pee for like 2 hours. And so we're like, okay, let's walk as far as we can until we get to like a private space to pee. And then girls don't have this, because you never like stand and pee next to someone. Like, I guess like if you're in the stall next to someone, you could be like, wow, I guess you really had to go. I had to pee so badly that Steven like peed that like came down and was it was like kind of on a hill because we're trying to like be private.
Yeah.
But I'm peeing so much that I'm just creating like a flood of urine toward him. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm still going. Just like, watch out. Here it comes. Like, move. Here it comes. Fee, fi, fo, rum. Yeah. We should just be peeing more. Yeah. I guess like, I don't know why we're holding it and torturing ourselves.
I feel like the episode title of this should be
Stop Holding Your Pee. Like, that's actually really funny. But the search may throw people who are looking for random stuff.
I was going to say something that would probably pull poorly too. So
yes.
Let's talk about something besides pee, and then we can try and get a different episode title.
Okay. This one, I've got my 3 GBs.
Okay.
And I'm going to just do my 2 bads and a good because I didn't have like great. I have a mixed, a bad, and a good. My mixed is Kelly Clarkson on Rascal Flatts reimagined song. Do I think, we and I were kind of talking before. Do we think, it didn't break the internet.
No, yeah.
Do I think karaoke is like awesome? And is this maybe a way of Rascal Flatts like capitalizing on Kelly's cover to like sell some different music? Like, I get the business side of this. But if you are going to be like actively saying you're retiring your music, please just retire your music. Like, I
think Rascal Flatts is trying too hard right now.
Yeah, they've gone back. They like the Jonas
Brothers with Kelly. Like,
it's just a lot, and I would like them to just. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I actually sound a lot like
Rascal Flatts. I love
totally, but I need them to take a break.
Yeah.
So I have mixed feelings about that. Real Houses of Atlanta started last Sunday.
Okay. I'm making Talia watch from the beginning, and she's obsessed.
Of Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay, well, of course you're obsessed with OG Atlanta.
OG Atlanta
slapped.
is,
There's no OGs left. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they've brought in, like, Portia and Cynthia to try to resurrect
bringing in Cynthia...
Odd choice.
It's such an odd choice because she's such a nothing burger.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, I know that some of her seasons, like, she helped push the plot along... But never cared.
Yeah,
what
like
was
her and Peter, and then the divorce, and then the different men that she dated and married, and then divorced.
But like, again, I never cared what she was doing.
Agreed. And like the Bailey Q, don't care. Yeah. The modeling thing, don't care. Anyway, here's what was that?
I don't know.
Is that me or you?
Was that your phone?
I doubt it.
Or your iPad?
Oh, yes, because it's doing that weird thing where AI, like, I don't know what button you push.
The AI, yeah.
The AI, I was like,
okay. I was like, oh,
please
okay.
let us listen to your conversation.
Spooky.
Anyway, I
turned it on.
I think I started watching Atlanta and I turned it off. I just think that show needs to be done.
Okay.
I think that there's certain franchises that would be better off being done. I think Beverly Hills is getting very close. I think Atlanta should be done. I think New York should also be done. I mean, the reboot was medium. Atlanta kind of did a quasi reboot. They brought back Portia, Cynthia. They had Shamia, so they kept her. They had Drew, who speaking of a nothing burger.
Yeah.
But they got rid of Candy. They don't have Nene. And then they have Kenya, but they're really limiting Kenya because, they removed Kenya from the show because she does revenge porn. And so
I feel like some of these like legacy places need to be retired and we need a new city.
Yeah, I think just
like,
new
I don't
city.
Don't even try and reboot the city. Close out the city, find a new one.
And take a break. Like,
yeah.
I would love, Miami is a great illustration of what happens if you give an actual break and then you bring back the women, you add a few more, but then it's a brand new show and everyone gets behind it. Everyone champions Miami, and it had to go off the air for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Let's do the same with Atlanta. Let's do the same with New York. Let's honestly do the same with, did you see Tamara Judge quit Orange County? She quit and then she started filming again. And now the producers, she's just trying to make, she's drama.
Yeah.
I think they could do the same with Orange County. Like, I'd be okay with a lot of those.
No, but Orange County last season was good.
And Lisa Barlow.
For context, we are talking about Real Housewives.
Yeah, sorry, for context. Hi, Kevin. So,
Schmevin Farrow.
Lisa Barlow is not filming with Salt Lake either, and she took Real Housewives of Salt Lake out of her bio on her socials. She was wanting over $1 million for the contract, and they weren't giving it to her. I think this is like a détente. Let's see if the show can survive without Lisa. Shocking. Okay, my third one, though, that is excellent is Top Chef. This is Top Chef Vancouver. It's in
I
Canada.
haven't started it yet.
Or maybe Top Chef Toronto, but it's Top Chef
season?
Canada.
I love Top Chef, but it always makes me hungry.
Here's the thing that Steve and I were talking about Top Chef last night because it's one of the few Bravo shows that he and I both are equally vested in.
Okay.
Bravo, typically shows are either, competition shows like that are either hyper character driven or hyper content driven. Mm-hmm. Either it's like unbelievable characters, but like, are they really doing anything amazing? No, I'm looking at you, Project Runway. Or I'm looking at like unbelievably great talent, but like kind of boring people looking at you, Food Network.
Yeah.
Like where it's like really, really great.
Top
Chef is the
both.
Convergence of both. I'm getting amazing characters, season 1 or episode 1. And
interesting
the food was great. I love that it's Canada. I love Kristen, the host. She was the new host last year as well.
Yeah, I don't think I watched last year's. I need to go back.
Yeah, Padma Lakshmi is out, and so it was Kristen's first time hosting last year, and she was phenomenal.
This may also be a hot take in regards to Top Chef, but I like the mini challenges before the big challenges more.
Agreed. The big challenges have so much pressure riding on them that they're not as I get too wrapped into it. But now what they do is they do quick fire cash. So the mini fires are all just for they have $250,000 are up for grabs during the quick fire challenges. So each episode, like this last one was the winner got $15,000.
Cool.
So the quick fires they win cash, and then if you win the elimination round, you get immunity.
Yeah.
So they've kind of changed how they're doing that, which I think is more fun. People are more creative, and it's just like more fun to watch. But man, Top Chef slaps every season, and this season I feel like is going to be an amazing 3 for 3. The judges are great, the characters are great, and the content is great.
Cool. Okay, my 3GBs. Did I do a show on one of them? I can't remember.
You did Rebel Moth, Keke Palmer, and Solo Leveling.
Oh, okay. I remember all of them. Rebel Moth is book 2 of the Crimson Moth series.
Okay, which you started last time. Yeah.
It's so good. The second book, it's sequel. So what's a duology?
Okay.
2 book series, and the second book is better than the first book, and it is a true enemies to lovers, and it was incredible, and I was finishing it while I was at the gym, and I started crying in public. It's so good. Second one is Keke Palmer's book, Master of Puppets. She is so funny. But the book, I wouldn't say is like a memoir to be funny. Like, I would say it's almost like
it's her
self-help.
Memoir?
No.
Okay.
I would say it's like self-help. And it was like, there was a lot of valuable things in there. So I'm not going to knock it, but it just wasn't what I was expecting.
Right.
It was way more self-help than it was like, just tell me about Keke Palmer and her being funny.
Okay.
My last one is Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is right now the like most popular anime ever. It like has surpassed One Piece on Crunchyroll. To the people who understand what I'm saying, that will make sense.
You literally used a bunch of words that I know in isolation, but together.
Yeah, crazy, right?
One Piece, Crunch, Roll. None of those are hitting for me.
Okay, so.
But I Live, Laugh, Love. Where do we watch it?
You watch it on Crunchyroll, which is an app for anime.
So you can even watch it like on Netflix.
Oh, they might put it on Netflix. We are on Solo Leveling. I would say this is like a late teen. Bailey
like
watches
YA.
it with us.
Okay.
But it's pretty violent, and Bailey's more used to that because she is like grown up watching anime, and it's a lot of like killing a demon. So to me, it's not like
Bailey's
so
used
violent.
to that because we're violent in our house.
Yeah, so, we're like fists up all the time. No, we do not. Actually, speaking of last night though, I was making beer bread, and that does require having a can of beer. I don't know if I should tell this story. You know what? I'm gonna tell it anyway.
Okay, yeah, go right ahead because I got distracted. It is on Netflix, but not for our region.
Oh,
yet.
okay.
It's only in limited Asian territories, not globally.
Oh my gosh, it's such an excellent show. The action sequences are so well done. I think it would take some adjusting for people who have never watched anime before. Like just the way that they do action sequences, the way that they like have the inner dialogue with themselves. But if you are interested in watching anime or trying anime, this is a very cool and interesting place to start. The first episode is shocking, jarring, and quite violent. So just
is Crunchyroll not free?
Ooh, I don't know. I think there might be a subscription for it.
Okay, yeah, okay.
There might be a subscription for it.
Also, I forgot to say, did I talk that I finished or that I just about finished Let Them, Mel Robbins?
You
finished
it. Or
did I just tell you at dinner?
No. You finished
said of the last
book?
one. Yeah.
I don't think you talked about it last one.
Okay.
I have seen her do like 4 podcasts about it, and I feel like I've gotten the gist.
So here's what I was telling Steven about the difference between her book, Let Them, and The Secret, Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, which I had read the month prior.
Yeah.
I mean, I read that every year just as like a good thing.
Yeah.
Mel Robbins' book is principally her.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what her background is. I should look up and see. Do you know, is she like a psychologist or does she have?
No.
Because like Brenda, she's just a personality.
Yes.
Okay. Because it reads that way.
Yes.
It's great content for about this deep.
She is
but
not.
If you're not like a this deep or a this deep across multiple disciplinaries.
I feel like that's also just like why Brene Brown is not like so annoying to me.
Yeah.
Is because I'm like, oh, this is researched and well done. And Mel Robbins is like, let me tell you about this story that happened and why you should let them. And listen, I agree with the principles. I think that we also, okay, for context, Mel Robbins did release a book called Let Them. Let Them theory essentially is like, if somebody's doing something and it's not the way that you would do them, you would do it, let them do it their own way.
And
Molly,
part 2 is, Molly, we're looking at you.
Molly, you could really use this
but
book.
The second half of that, just to correct the theory, is we let them do things and then we let us do our own. So it's the concept of like taking ownership of your own actions and not letting other people's actions derail or drive your actions.
In the principle,
it's like some autonomy.
I agree with, which is basically just like control what you can control. What other people are trying to do is not in your control.
And choose what to care about so you protect your peace. Like choosing to get upset about something that you just absolutely have no control over, nor that you really should care about, that doesn't like really merit that. Yeah. Don't care about that. Care about the stuff that does care.
You don't need to read the book.
The difference, and I will say, like, it's a little redundant. It's surprisingly a dense book.
If you are interested in this, listen to her on the Skinny Confidential podcast. Listen to her on Jake Shane's podcast. Mm-hmm. Just search Mel Robbins Let Them podcast and listen to her talk about it on 3 different podcasts and don't read the book.
The biggest, I think she was saying something like she was like the 5th most downloaded podcast for one episode. And Steven's like, oh, just send me that episode so I don't have to read the book. And I was like, genius. Opposed to like The Secret, which is let me look at this idea, this concept of manifesting, and I'm going to show it to you through multiple eras, disciplines, ideas, lenses, like that.
And that's
the Let Them theory lacks that.
I felt like it was better listening to her on podcasts with other people because they would give her real life examples and then she would do it in practice with them. So like on one podcast, the girl was like, oh, he won't give up his phone in the morning. And he's like, okay, fine. You can try and convince me. And she was like, why do I need to convince you? You clearly don't want to change your habit. And he's like, well, I know that it's not, but it doesn't bother. And she's like, no, it does factually, but I'm not going to, you clearly don't want to change. So what am I going to sit here on the podcast and try and convince you otherwise? And to me, that is like, okay, show me in theory how you let people. And like, that's why I found that it was much more impactful to watch her on podcasts where she was literally doing it in practice.
Interesting.
Versus I feel like the book, like you said, would just be a lot of redundancies.
Yeah, there's a lot of redundancies. But I did finish it, so I do get 10 points for
you.
That. And where it's different about Brene Brown is that Brene Brown is actively doing psychological research on different projects. And like some of it feels similar, but a lot of it isn't. So, okay, let's get into the stories because we don't have a ton of time. Meghan Markle launches her new podcast called Confessions of a Female Founder.
Boo, boo, tomato, tomato.
Being produced by Lemonada, which is like a female-run, female empowerment podcast studio. Now, keep in mind that she did have a failed $20 million run on Spotify for her RHOA.
This is what shocks me so much. You really got a $20 million deal on this, It failed.
On the previous one, not on.
And it failed. Yeah. And then you said, "Let's do it again."
She said, "Let's spend more money." Yeah, the girls on the Toast were talking about this week, so I am lifting some of their ideas because I just listened to it, and so it's hard for me to bifurcate the two. One, she clearly needs a paycheck. She should be better with her spending because she's generating so much money. Why does she, like, sorry to say it, whore herself out to these things? Her TV show failed. Her first podcast failed. Her new line, Live Well. First off, she had to, like, rebrand because it was failing. Then it was like, now it's almost like becoming comical. Like, it's so like a spoof almost of what it could be. And it's a little chuggy to be doing the confessions of a like shopaholic and then like the CEO. I'm only focusing on the female that blah, blah, blah. And it's actually a bizarre, the little pitch for it talks about how she'll be interviewing female entrepreneurs who will be assisting Megan in her entrepreneurial effort. So not even a show, not even a podcast that would principally lend itself to like learning about other people's entrepreneurial experience. It's about how they could be bettering Megan in her own. I don't want to just like dump on her forever, but it just seems bizarre to me that all people really want her to do is to talk about the royal family. Like, that's the only interesting thing about you, Megan. Like, she's not Gwyneth Paltrow.
I actually don't agree with that. But here's the thing. I've never been like a huge royal person.
Totally.
I've never been, if I'm looking at celebrity news, I don't really care about the royals.
Say it to both of us. I didn't realize that I could zoom in. So
nice.
So say it to both of us.
Okay, perfect. I think she's inauthentic. I don't think that she's an authentic person. Like everything she does comes off as inauthentic because she does not like, she will not like focus on the thing that is like truly her.
Which is what?
Exactly.
Being a judgy headline whore.
Well, I just honestly feel like I didn't watch her Netflix show. From what I like saw,
I watched one episode. That's also one that I stopped. Is it like
trying to be Martha Stewart? Is it trying to be?
It's like trying to be like, oh, at home with Megan and me with my perfectly hair and makeup done. Like, I watched the one with Mindy Kaling. I think everybody else did, where like she corrects her about saying Sussex, and it was like a little uncomfortable. But like,
and then apparently that's like not even her name,
not even a real title anymore, or her name. And then also just the concept of like the producers being like, so tell me your first memory, your funniest memory with Megan. Like, they're all trying to make us like Megan. That is what the show is trying to have us do, and it's not successful.
And I feel that way too, even about celebrities who like hang out with her. Like, they're like, I feel like they say things like, oh, please say something nice about Megan in the press.
Yeah, fully.
Like, it really does not appear that anybody truly likes her.
Well, and I feel like as a host of a show, I would have expected a lot more of like eye to camera with like a wink and a charm and a blah, 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 blah. Zilch.
Did not look at the camera once.
I mean, she did, but it just didn't, not like you would think a normal host would. I want her to be, you're right, she's just not authentic. And so the challenge with that is when you take someone who's disingenuous about the content or the format or whatever, it just is so transparent. Like, you need to watch Kristen, the host of Top Chef, has her own cooking show that she did last year. I don't know if it's still on, where she would say, if I were in the competition, here's what I would have done. Here's the challenge. And then she brings in other past winners or other contestants. One of like the people that she was on the show with is actually the producer of the cooking show. So like she's facilitating a lot of that. It's a lot of like breaking the fourth wall. It's a lot of like scooting back with the camera. So you see all the different cameras on there. You see the test kitchen. You see how she's like loses an earring. Her fingernail comes off. She's like, oh my God, that's so sick. Put this on the camera. Like I was captivated because she was so real, but she was also knowing that she was doing hosting work. Megan is not a host. She can hold a briefcase. I'll give her that.
My advice to Megan is like the most interesting.
Just, like,
yeah, you are.
Sorry, just like.
My advice to Megan is like the times in which she was the most interesting was when we knew absolutely nothing about her. Yeah. And I would like her to remain more mysterious. I think she should be a like very mysterious influencer who like is just a lifestyle influencer. She posts photos all the time, doesn't need to do the show, doesn't need to talk, but like if we just get to view her life and like make up whatever we want about her and how awesome and amazing and sparkly she is, that is what will lend best to what she is doing. And she can do product placement in her posts, and she can, I don't even need her to get on the Instagram like stories.
I
like,
don't even know if I follow her. Do you follow her?
No, because she's so boring. Like I just need a photo of her sitting in the garden playing with Archie, and there's a Stanley on the table. Like it's so crazy to me. Like I just am like, talk less, because the more that you talk, it is more cementing to me that you don't know who you are, and it's very chaotic and it's hard to watch. And like, this is creating.
I don't know if she has I don't even know if she has an Instagram.
I think it's the Duchess of Sussex. I thought it was.
Is it?
I thought that was her Instagram. Like, it's not even Meghan Markle. It's like Duchess of
There's
Sussex.
like the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, which is like the royal Instagram account, but it stopped posting in 2020.
Not only that, like, just write a book and then shut up for 10 years.
Well, Harry did.
I know, but like, it just, it's kind of crazy to me. I really am like, be an elusive Instagrammer, socialite.
I mean, she did kind of score because it's just Meghan, just Megan. That's her name. Just Megan.
Whoa, that's crazy. I wonder what they had to pay for
2.5 million followers. Would have thought it would have been more.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, no comments are allowed on her post.
I believe it
at all.
Can't take any feedback. Love
can't
that
take any
for
feedback, and it's
an inauthentic person can't take any feedback.
It seems like they're trying so hard. I just don't know. Maybe she's terribly misunderstood.
If your comments are turned off, you clearly like cannot hear what the people are saying.
Yeah.
So
can you hear the people saying?
I'm uninterested.
Agreed. I honestly would have been totally cool with her to just be like what you're saying, just like there, but not trying to shove it in the face. Although what the toast did say, we would be interested if her first guest, Oprah owes her a favor because Meghan did the thing with Oprah. Like, I would be down with that if she could use her list celebrity to get major names. Okay, cool. But if not, still.
Like, really, do we still care about hearing from Oprah?
No, that's true.
Like, it's just so outdated.
Or most celebrities.
Like, what, Meghan Markle's going to get Ellen on? Like, I just am not interested.
Agreed. Okay, let's move on. This is an active developing story.
Okay.
Kanye, Kim, North. There's
Taylor
major
Swift
drama.
Tried to warn all of you guys.
Taylor Swift tried to tell us, be careful. Oh, I didn't even tell you this, by the way. Taylor Swift made me think of concerts. We bought our Beyonce tickets.
Okay.
We're going to Sir. Because we're so close. We have to pick up Steven because he's already going to be there doing a show.
Amazing.
And I was like, wait, where should we do dinner? And then we made reservations for Sir. So we're going to have the fried goat cheese balls.
Whoa.
In California.
I'm so jealous.
Anyway, sorry. I just saw you said Taylor Swift. Thanks,
Yeah.
ADD. Hi, get me a medication. Okay. Here's what we know. Because this is developing. So if we're totally wrong,
sorry.
Like by the time this airs,
Send me a
things
letter.
will have developed. One, Kanye West. Okay, when the kids were born, what are all the other kids' names? North, True, Strong and Free. What are the other kids' names?
One of them?
No.
Saint.
No,
North,
is that Saint West?
True is Chloe's.
Okay, anyway.
North,
when the kids were born, does she only have two?
There's not West.
No. There's like Winter
Never
West.
eat soggy waffles.
There's like Mountain West.
I don't know.
The Mountain West Conference.
I know there's a Saint and I know there's a North.
Oh my gosh. Kim Kardashian kids. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's Psalm.
Oh, Psalm.
Chicago. Saint and North.
Okay, I got two.
You got 2 of the 4.
2 out of 4.
Okay, so when each of the kids' were born, Kim trademarked the names.
Yeah.
So she owns the trademark. Kanye over the weekend released a new song featuring North and
Diddy.
P. Diddy. And for understandable reasons,
an extremely bad decision.
Kim sent Kanye a notice, and Kim's representatives posted saying this is an infringement of trademark because, one, it violates their agreement because they have joint legal custody. Yeah. And this very much is a legal custody issue. Just to give context to people, this is the area of law that I'm in. I deal in domestic work. This is principally legal custody issues because you're using her name and likeness to generate an income on behalf of the individual that you should probably have some agreement on because you're putting out her music. Like someone had to sign a minor, and you can't sign legal documents, which she had to have signed with the publishing house, with all the different steps that you have to sign when you're releasing agent with movies or music, whether or not you're also going to do music video.
And Kim, despite her comeuppance,
despite her failures and your opinion,
special.
Yes, but more than that, she's also a mom.
Yeah,
I think she does take being a mom pretty seriously. She does take it very seriously. And Kanye is, by many accounts, an absentee in a lot of ways. He's just not there for the day to day.
A loser.
And Kim is, and so Kim does not want, for very obvious reasons. Now, I think if Kanye had just released a song with North, that would have been fine. There would have been some legal problems because of the joint decision making, but I think Kim is rightfully saying, "Hold up, I do not want I do not North to be associated with P. Diddy, particularly with everything that's going on right now."
Yes,
especially. And so Kanye West is accusing the Kardashian mob of restricting his parenting with now he's going on the offensive. What he did text her that is a little bit shocking.
Yeah.
Is he had texted her, "You better give up the trademark claim," because the custody claim, it's like there'll be sanctions, but there's not any real injunctive relief that would be available to him in the courts. But there would with a trademark infringement. It would shut it down, and that's what got notified by the public to the publishing house, to the record label, it's everything. He said, "If you do not lift the trademark, we will go to war. The public battle will be terrible. You will have to kill me," is what he texted her. And then he released the text messages. And she's actually being really responsible and responsive in the text messages. I just feel like, one, if Kanye was really being involved with North.
Yeah.
And really, because Kim's saying, "I don't think it's in her best interest to be affiliated with P. Diddy." If Kanye was really doing his best interest as well, North's best, nobody should be affiliated with P. Diddy current.
Yep.
Making new music, attaching their finances together. There's no reason. And so be a parent first. Yeah. Kanye, don't be a provocateur first. Parent first, provocateur second. Yeah. Secondly, his wife, Brianna, is a perfect example of
I think they're getting divorced. They're fully separated.
But I'm just saying his current wife, that history goes to show a spiral and a lack of reality. And I know Kim lives in her own world that's not reality based as well. But on this side, our advice is Kanye needs to sit down. He needs to take his own advice, sit down. And I'm actually totally team Kim on this. Yeah. I think I am sad teens don't know what's best for them. Charlotte, Oliver, honey, if you guys are listening, this goes to you. The code word for this episode will be True West, or for Northwest. So that way I know for sure that you're listening to this advice. Teens don't always know what's best for them.
Yeah.
That's why they have parents.
When you're a teen, you think you do.
You think you're like, "Oh my gosh, I get this."
It's Little Mermaid. I'm an adult.
Literal 16. Frontal lobe has not fully formed. You cannot be having.
I thought I knew everything at 22. I did not.
Totally. So listen to your mom, North. Don't listen to crazy Kanye. Yeah. It's just a really sad, and I only think it's going to play out worse because Kanye doubles, triples, quadruples down. I think
the only way that Kim can win in this, and I am a vehement belief in this, and I know that there is a lot of protect your kid's father, etc. But I'm stop protecting bad people. Stop protecting bad people. If it hurts them that their dad is acting this way, that's because he's acting this way.
Right.
I would love nothing more than for Kim to write a book being you guys have literally no idea the stuff that I endured being in a relationship with this person. And I loved this person and I endured and I had 4 kids with him and that's why I haven't said anything. But it is getting to the point that stop protecting people especially if they're terrible people.
Agreed.
Like I understand the like feelings of like, but that's my child's father. Like, well, maybe he shouldn't be a bad person then. Like, you don't need to protect him. You should protect your kids from a bad person. Like that. And again, this is also coming from a person who hasn't, like, I'm not in that situation when it comes to kids, but like, it is, to me, I am just like, you want to protect your peace, stop protecting people who are terrible to you.
Agreed.
My rant of the day.
No, I just think that can't be understated enough, of just like the pause and like take a step back. What are we really doing?
Yeah.
Just does not happen enough.
Well, and there's the thing too, that it's like, you don't need to like continually attack this person. I'm not saying that, but it's like, if you're asked about your truth, be honest. Because you don't need to protect somebody when like you're being dragged through the mud, seemingly. Like, he's gonna post way more things that makes Kim look awful, and if she's gonna continue to stay silent, I mean, that speaks for itself, in that she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, dive into his delusions. But I'm like, Kim, please remind these people of who this person is. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yes, agreed, triple agreed. Okay, also some fashion world drama, which is so interesting, and I told you that I would explain this to you. Versace.
Yeah.
So Donatella Versace, you know, Versace was started by her brother, very Donatella and Gianna Versace.
That was rude.
She's a little plasticked. I think she did it herself. But interesting. So she has been ousted as the creative director of Versace.
Yeah.
And the former creative director of Miu Miu, another fashion house, is kept being brought in.
Yeah.
And Versace was sold to Capri, which like for $2 billion, and it's like a major empire, right? It's actually similar to Salma Hayek's husband, who is like owns like Louis Vuitton and all these major houses like they've purchased, whatever. But she's being ousted, and now she's just going to be a brand ambassador. But she'd already signed a contract that she could never design clothes, so she can't use her name ever outside of Versace. So it's not like she could go to whatever else. And that they're looking at selling the brand to Prada. Versace is being sold to Prada, it looks like. That's what they're trying to do. But she is being completely exiled there and being kind of told that they're like the scapegoat for why nothing's really happening.
Yeah.
What's nuts about this is that I cannot think of a more quintessentially iconic figure in fashion right now attached to a fashion house than Donatella Versace for Versace. Who's the Louis Vuitton for Louis Vuitton? None. Who, like, I guess Dolce & Gabbana are their
Dolce
names,
and Gabbana.
but they're like B-list to me. There's like A-list fashion houses. Who's the Valentino? Who is he or she?
It's a he. I can't remember his first name.
Valentino head. Let's just see. No, the head of Valentino is Jacopi Venturini.
Let me see. No, who's the other guy? Look up the
Alessandro Michele is the head designer, and has.
But Versace was she the head designer?
No, her brother was Gianni Versace, and she was brought in as like creative directing, and then when he died, R.I.P. RIP, she was brought in as the creative director for it, and now she's being ousted. It's just so crazy that in this industry, it really is Devil Wears Prada. It really is this sort of like cutthroat world of high-end fashion.
Doesn't that also say to you though that like these institutions are like
crumbling?
So young? Like, to me, I'm like, the fact that Versace was still at Donatella Versace was still at Versace. Right. I'm like, you guys like act like you're this like huge legacy,
right?
And I'm like, oh no, this is like still so young. Which like I know that this is a couple generations out, but like it's kind of like when America's come to Europe and you're like, oh, this has been around since like Jesus, and we're like the strip mall that popped up.
100%. Like, we're like, no, this is a Blockbuster. It's vintage. This is next to a Radio Shack. Yeah. Get pictures of you guys if you want. We have a brochure. Yeah, no, like we don't have history like they have history. Well, we had history. I think we erased a lot of it when we colonized, and that's on God. Actually, when we were driving, Stephen was like, look at all the different sedimentary layers in the rocks as we were driving today.
He's such a nerd.
And I was like, totally. And I said, but I didn't realize that this was like all underwater. He's like, oh yeah, it must have been like forever ago. And then he was like, like must have been like the time of like Book of Mormon era would be like, I guess there'd be like a lot of water here. And I was like, it is so crazy that we do have a history here. Our nation, the United States of America, Salt Lake City, like people were here, people were doing stuff. Like, this is not, I just have no idea. And so I said to him, I can't, just like, goodbye, get on private lands. What I love, what I was saying to him, and I have this thought every now and then that I think is really exciting. I can't wait to watch the world history when I'm dead. Yeah. From beginning to end. In the library, just be like, hey, and I'll be like, Steph, where are you? Come watch world history with me. We're going to be doing like dark ages to like what happened in France.
I want it done in the way that I want it done.
No. Oh, you will. It's heaven.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Like, no. I want it to be fully like chapter, verse, episodic. I want there to be like interviews. I want it to be documentary. I want to see like the live footage. I want to see like how history got it wrong. I want like, and
then I'll show those people who will also be in heaven with us the footage of me in the Walmart bathroom.
And then they'll say, like, Steph, we wanted to take Steph 101. And when we were looking at your history, there's kind of a block here. Could you release that block? They're like, oh, okay. Okay, we do need to talk about speaking of kind of like other controversy. Controversy right now surrounding Snow White because Gal Gadot and Rachel Ziegler are feuding. They've been feuding for a long time. Gal Gadot, for context, Gal Gadot plays the evil queen and Rachel Ziegler plays Snow White. Now, Rachel Ziegler already got into some hot water being cast as Snow White because a lot of interviews surfaced about her basically taking a dump on the Disney princess and the story, the iconic story, which is really like one of the very first Disney. I think she was the first Disney princess. And so this whole concept of like, ooh, the man basically stalks her. It's like kind of overly woke. And that was like, so they removed all of that, I guess, from the story. So the story is about her like finding her voice and her value. And it's very much like Jasmine, and she's like, I will not be silenced. And we have to be like, oh, okay, just put on a bikini and play with a tiger. Like the idea of just like overwoking, I don't totally love. I think also whoever said, was it Jane Fonda's like, woke just means you care. No, woke can sound stupid as hell. I do think we need to care more. I'm not saying that we shouldn't, but
I think that we need to care more. It's just that it feels very performative.
It feels very performative,
particularly for certain things like being on. It's so unoriginal to be like, oh, we don't need to.
We want to rewrite the Disney princess.
Yeah, we don't need a prince to save us. It's like, no, okay. You do. Tumblr in 2015. Totally. I don't. I just am kind of
like, okay, go enjoy shopping at Hot Topic. So but what I will say is that this is a very interesting thing that we're seeing play out because the discord between them is not the Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively, anything personal between the two of them. Meaning it's not like
they didn't do
Blake Lively is not
other.
Acute, sexual harassment or retaliation. However, as we know, Gal Gadot is an absolute queen, both in the movie and in life, because she is Israeli and she is a member of the IDF. She
literally served in the IDF.
She served in the IDF for Israel. Yeah. And then she gets cast opposite lead role with a Gen Zer who is very pro-Palestine and has also had statements that have come out that have been interpreted to also be pro-Hamas. Yeah. I won't get into my personal opinions or yours about the convergence of being pro-Israel, how you can be pro-Israel and not pro-Hamas.
Being a literal veteran of the IDF, and somebody who is young and
has a platform.
Tweets, I'm not saying like she is misinformed. I'm just saying some of her tweets have come off as like kind of misinformed, and how that would
ironically a little chuggy themselves
very much feel like I've literally served on the front lines and you're saying just like nonsense to me. Not that it's nonsense. I know this is a very sensitive topic.
Right.
But like,
well, I don't think it's sensitive, but we're just not getting. I'm not sensitive to it.
It's a sensitive belief amongst people right now.
I know, which is a bizarre thing to be like, I don't know, like maybe the terrorists are okay. In any event, I think what is so interesting about watching this play out, because now we're going to start seeing the red carpet because we're seeing the release of the movie. We're going to see a lot more interviews. It's so interesting. They had the opportunity to be Cynthia and Ariana in a way. Right? Of like these two women that like see each other, they understand each other. They're so vastly different. But they found commonality in the experience of filming the movie together and in their just relationship. And so it was this really wonderful friendship. I actually am learning I'm gathering that is much more rare than common. Absolutely. And we're seeing just how rare it is kind of with the backdrop of them with then Rachel Ziegler and Gal Gadot just like,
and like
going at favor. It. They won't. Simple favor between Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. Now, Paul Feig is saying there's no drama, but I think everyone's saying, Anna Kendrick was giving major.
Somebody asked, like, how's it like working with Blake Lively? And she goes, you know.
It's such a perfect, like, honest, genuine, but also very, like, scripted, safe, perfect out. You have it out wherever you need.
I weirdly have, like, a crazy take on this, which is that, like, bring back NDAs.
You don't want to know.
I kind of am like,
I just want to watch the movie.
It. Like okay, so like the podcast hosted me. I love the drama. I love like, I'm an investigative journalist. Like I love to know all of the details. Bring back blind items. Bring back where I wasn't sure. Bring back, like, everybody on set has to sign an NDA.
I agree. Like,
nobody can talk.
I mean, I understand the problem with that because, like, that's how we got to the Me Too movement and Harvey Weinstein and everybody wasn't saying things.
Okay, but
we've maybe pendulum swung a little too far.
Put stipulations in the NDA. I don't need to know
everything that's happening on the set because I will tell you what, I'm not watching Snow White.
I don't think I will.
I'm not watching Snow White in principal reason because of Rachel Ziegler. I think she's a
annoying person.
Thank you for saying it that way. But the other thing is that I just don't. Why am I going to go? I would much rather go see Wicked 6 times in the theater than go see 5 other films where I know that the people are feuding and it leaves me with like a weird taste and it takes me out of the movie.
I'm not even interested in going to be like, ooh, does their chemistry show?
I don't care.
I don't care.
You ruin the movie by creating the controversy, which you think is like all press is good press. And I guess we are talking about Snow White, and so it's effectively putting us in the lexicon or in the zeitgeist, but I still don't think it's going to actually translate to success. And I did read as well that Disney's preparing for this to be a huge flop.
Yeah. Bring back A Star Is Born, and we all thought Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper were
having an affair. Like I'm down to clown for that.
Where the tension and the news is that these people are madly in love.
Let's just look at historically. Twilight.
Yeah, loved it.
Major. Although, why is there not Twilight the musical yet?
You can't make that a musical.
They didn't. I didn't think you can make a lot of things a musical, like the concept of just cats singing in the alleyway.
Cats is iconic. You take that.
Literally, I'm just saying. If you were to brainstorm ideas with me, vampires who fall in love. I don't know. Cats who are trying to get onto a train so that they can die. I'm listening. Do you know what I mean? Like, a Broadway's no respecter of like not on Broadway. Yeah. No, we'll put anything on Broadway. Just say that to 6. Okay, 6? We do 6 SIX.
I thought that was a good one.
No, it was good. I'm saying the concept. The wives of Henry VIII all died. Yeah, love it. Let's tell all of their crazy stories. Like they really are just like, give me good music. Put Pascal on it, and I'm in it. Okay, the last thing we have to have, because I really have like 3 minutes.
Yeah, go.
Is I just love this so much because my advice is love your person more. Be grateful for their idiosyncrasies. Yeah. Brenda Strong is engaged to Macaulay Culkin of fame.
Macaulay Culkin.
Home Alone. Yeah. For context, Kevin. And Kevin. So Brenda Strong was on the Jennifer Hudson show. She's doing press for some reason. We were just commenting beforehand as we were reviewing the
stories. I don't know what she is in or at or doing, but she is on the press tour.
But she says that when she met him, he didn't know how to do laundry at all. Still doesn't really know. And didn't know how to drive. Still doesn't know how to drive. And Brenda Strong is just like, that's my man.
Yeah.
We've got to be kinder to the choices we make and the partner we pick. Instead of like doing something
else.
No,
there's nothing better than that's my man.
I love someone that's like, yeah, and I'm in love with him. Does he know how to drive a car? No. So whatever you could think that you could weaponize to complain about your person, choose to love that about them. And it just immediately releases a lot of joy. And you're just like, I love that my person blanks. And that's okay. I'm picking it. It's fine. Like, it's a cute, it's harmless. It's not hurting the relationship. Who cares if they know how to do laundry or drive a car?
Yeah.
I just, my general advice, be grateful for the person you pick more. It'll make the relationship healthier.
Facts. Period.
I'm into that.
A great way to end the episode.
Yes. And so with that, Stephen, I love you.
And Traven, you're literally my heart, my joy.
Stephen, you're the name I cry out in the middle of the night.
You actually stole that.
You're the
copyright.
You were there. You know what happened. Traven, I just want to let you know, the sun rises and sets behind you. Your head.
Breath I will take, it will be the word.
Love
Traven.
Is patient. Love is kind. Your love is
you
unending
is important,
and
you is strong. You is
unwavering.
Amazing.
It is the unanswered call.
I've just never
never
known
came.
Love.
It is
quite
the
like this.
Snowman that built itself. It is the magic scarf that brings me to life.
Like the sunrise.
You are the dancing queen. You are everything to me.
Sorry, the dancing queen.
Live, laugh, love. You can dance. All right, guys, we love you. Follow us on all social media platforms. Give this a like, and we will see you guys in a week. Bye.